my microphone.
You slurp it right into the microphone.
Mm-hmm. So what were you up to last night?
Last night I was playing some games with my friends. I was able to get Tristan online.
Playing
Tristan, Cam, and E.
Sorry, what game? I was trying to think of the name Civilization.
Civilization?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was more like I watched them play. Because Mac and PCs can't play Civ 5 together.
And they all have Macs?
The old Macs.
Wow.
So they played that for a little bit. We mostly just talked.
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah. Getting some catching up. Oh my god. The Twitch chat.
I was thinking about timing him out.
Spam this stash to have a music bash spam. This stash to have a music bash.
Sorry, some of my things.
Send out the messages. It's like when you're talking to people on Twitch, it's like they're really there.
They interrupt me just as much.
Just as much.
Just as much as normal. Holy shit. Alright, I'm timing doing out. And... oh, I can only... wait. It's the least I can time them out.
Oh, you should do the most.
No. The most is a ban.
Just infinite. Just ban them.
It's 12 days to ban.
Wow.
But yeah, how have you been this fine week? You haven't been on as much as everybody else, I feel.
I mean, what, this last week?
Mm-hmm.
Been on like 4 of the nights. I feel like that's
not every night.
Well, that is not every night, correct? But I've been doing pretty good. Just got done playing some Quiplash with my family.
I thought you were you playing from school?
Yeah, I'm still at my apartment. We were just playing via Discord.
Your parents know what Discord is?
Well, we were trying to explain it to them. My dad almost got it to work.
Oh. I was about to say.
So it's mostly just me, my brothers, and my sister-in-law. But
honestly, I don't know how anyone doesn't use Discord these days. But more bandwidth for the rest of us.
Oh yeah. Are you eating some nuts?
No, they're frozen chocolate chips.
Oh. Ooh. I could go for some frozen chocolate chips.
It's just a couple. I sprinkled just a couple over the top.
Just enough for the sweetness.
Yeah. I'm facing the reality that I'm gonna run out of hummus.
You can just buy or make more.
Well, the issue with making more is I need tahini, and maybe some of the other international markets will be open, but the one I got it from was inside. It was like there was a Dats and there was some other restaurant, and it was like in the back. So
yeah,
it's definitely not open.
No, tahini, it's not that hard to find, right? I'm sure Bloomington has plenty of international markets.
He has 3.
Well, there you go. So you go to the other 2.
Well, I haven't been to the other 2. That was the only one I had been to. So.
Well, you can expand your horizons.
But they're so far away.
So like 15 minutes? You drive like 45 minutes one way every day.
Yeah, that's a long time. I don't like it. Hopefully I'm going to start working from home.
Hopefully. What, this week?
Yeah. I still have to go in tomorrow. Which, not going to lie, starting to get a little bit worried.
What, just now?
Yeah. Because no one in Indiana is really taking it seriously yet.
Well, yeah, we've only had a couple cases, but everything's shutting down, so I think people are starting to take it a little more seriously.
No, I mean, what is it? You saw those videos of the kids in Florida. Florida hasn't shut anything down, by the way.
Well, luckily, they don't have a large elderly population, else that might be bad.
Hold on. I think you're under something there.
I wasn't sure if you're saying hold on because of what I said or because you're enjoying a particularly luscious spoonful of frozen yogurt.
Every spoonful is equally luscious. Oh. I actually like to let it set just a little bit because if it's fresh out of the freezer, it's a bit too frozen. You know, because it's low fat frozen yogurt, so it's not got a lot of fat to keep it soft. So if you let it sit just a little bit, it melts ever so slightly, and then it's closer to real ice cream.
Oh, they're not going to pour some over my hummus.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Hey, have you ever tried it? Don't knock it till you try it.
You ever tried heroin? Don't knock it till you try it. I hate when people say that.
What, have you tried heroin?
No. All right, I'm almost done. Sorry, we're going a bit over the 10-minute startup. I don't know. I went to the gym at, I thought, 7. I don't know why I didn't get back until 8.
I guess you're just lost in the workout, getting those gains.
I mean, I was only on the treadmill for half an hour because it has a timer. But I had to clean it when I got on and clean it when I got off. And
how much do you sweat on a treadmill?
Well, no, it's Cooper. It's
all that hummus oil.
No, it's
spilling out everywhere
Cooper,
like a damn lawn sprinkler.
There's a pandemic going on right now.
That doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure I would have heard something about that. So now we're just having a mukbang then as we listen to the soft chewing of frozen yogurt.
Sorry, I'm almost done. I'm to the Reese's peanut butter chips. My frozen yogurt is cradled underneath gently by some Reese's peanut butter chips, and then over the top I sprinkle some semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's get started before they keep demanding to see my nipples. That's a 0 follower goal right there.
No, don't say that. They might actually do it. Oh, I haven't fixed the scene, so you'll have to do the history as I quickly change the scene. I forgot to do that. I switched to opening.
Yeah, because in case you guys haven't heard, we're reviewing After Hours by The Weeknd. This is a hot new album, just came out like 3 days ago. So this is hot off the presses. So this is the newest album from The Weeknd, also known as Abel Macanin Tesfaye. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but
is that his real name?
That's his born name.
Wow.
Yeah, born 1990. He's a true blue Canadian.
That is not the right one.
All the great R&B artists come from Canada. Drake, The Weeknd. No, I don't think I think R. Kelly's American.
I wouldn't call him a great.
He made good music, just not good life decisions.
Arguable.
Yeah, and The Weeknd, it's pretty. He's had some clout since he first started making music in 2010. He has 3 Grammy Awards, 2 American Music Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, like 9 Juno Awards, and he's been nominated for an Academy Award. So this guy's got some clout in the industry. He was actually the first artist to hold 3 hot R&B songs on the chart at the same time, on the Billboard Hot R&B Songs chart. And he's kind of known for his infusion of R&B and hip-hop influences. And After Hours is his 4th of 4 albums, predating Kissland, Beauty Behind the Madness, and Starboy. So this is his first record since 2016. So a little bit of hype was built up behind it, since it looked like he was kind of going with a different direction, a little more almost throwback, but synth, a lot more synth heavy. And people are excited to see where he would take this album. And Sam and I have listened to it, and we'll now review it.
Oh, yeah, we will. Be riding that hype wave until people get to when I start talking.
Immediately.
So jumping into track number 1, Alone Again.
Alone Again.
Let me get that. There we go. So, straight into it, we got that really nice bubbly synth. Really digging it. The vocals, yeah, really not digging.
Are you not a fan of his falsetto voice?
So as I mentioned to Cooper as we were starting, I was kind of in a down mood when he recommended we listen to this album. And he was like, hey, you know what? The Weeknd has a new album coming out. Why don't we listen to that? I'm like, I love The Weeknd. Yeah, that sounds like
I'm very surprised to hear. I'm completely shocked that you like since he's kind of outside your usual wheelhouse.
As I realized as I clicked on the first song that Vampire Weekend and The Weeknd are two different things.
Oh my god, Sam.
And I was expecting Vampire Weekend.
Oh my god. You're so white. You're so white.
I haven't listened to them since I was like 15 or 12 or something. I don't care, 13 or something. But I was like, oh, these aren't the same people.
Oh, Sam, those are not the same people.
And I very quickly realized that.
They are
in my
very
defense, when you said The Weeknd, I did not have Vampire Weekend in my head. I just had a positive connotation, and I'm like, why do I have this strong? Like, you know what? This will be good. Why do I feel like I've listened to it before? And as soon as I hit the first song, I'm like, oh, it's because I'm thinking of this is not Vampire Weekend. Why was my brain even linking those? So.
Yeah,
mystery solved.
Man, here I thought you were actually a Weeknd fan. As I went to say, you know what? I think I wrote you to a corner, Sam. But now I'm completely justified.
Yeah. Well, let me just back myself into that corner further. I cannot understand a word that this man is saying. It initially, on the first song, it sounds pretty. I'll get back to you on that later on, but initially, it sounds pretty. I was really not a fan of that trap beat with the alternating between ears. You know what I'm talking about? When you do a trap beat and you have like the in the background with the trap beat.
Yeah, like a little something breathy going on.
Yeah. But then it has the plinky synth in there again, which is nice. And this is the only song he does it on, but I really like his singing much better when he isn't saying anything. He's just sustaining notes. And this is the only song he does it, and it never comes back.
I mean, definitely stays in the falsetto range for the entirety of this album.
Mm-hmm. Well, not quite the entirety.
Oh, okay, maybe not. A lot of it, but most of it. And yeah,
definitely most.
And this does kind of set up the album in a way where it's a very echoey, kind of large synth sound, very synth heavy album, though also very spacey at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of really links into the spacey aspect of it, though it does break into that trap beat, like you said, and the synth's kind of a little more farty, a little more distorted as his vocals come in again.
Yeah, I was disappointed, and then because it wasn't Vampire Weekend, and then
you kind of have to get over that hurdle first.
Exactly. I didn't even realize that my mind was thinking of it. I just had that that positive connotation with the word weekend. Who doesn't love the weekend? The days of the week, that is. So.
Oh, like the actual concept of the weekend.
So it was hard to strip that positive.
This is the weekend. In D, no E.
No E. But yeah, I realized that I was in for the long haul after this one, looking at the
what?
The lengths of the songs. It was I shed a little tear as I initially sat down, and I'm like, I'm not in for a good time, am I?
Well, you always enter albums with a negative attitude.
I enter albums with a gut instinct.
No, you just justified that gut instinct. Though you're right.
I was
that
correct.
Doesn't prove you're right.
Jump to track 2 then, if you're ready.
Track number 2, Too Late.
As in, too late to go back on reviewing this album.
You're such a negative Nancy.
It's gonna get worse from here, Coop. Especially in this one, his voice is so damn crisp at the start.
You don't like the crispness?
No, it's just on the edge of hearing the mouth sounds in your ear, you know?
I swear, if you say too close to the mic.
No, I didn't. He's not too close to the mic. It's not got the whispery quality. It's mouth sounds. Because,
like you eating frozen yogurt?
Not even to that, but when you talk, your cheeks smack around a little bit, your tongue smacks around a little bit, and if your mic picks that up, it's a little annoying because you kind of just hear the slapping around. And I really... No,
I didn't hear any mouth sounds like that.
There was none, but it was on the verge.
What's that mean?
It was on the verge of being too crisp.
You didn't hear any, but there could have been there. I think your mind's filling in the blanks there, Sam.
It was too...
I really hated the chicken balking in the middle of the song. It wasn't there, but it could have been.
No, it was too... His voice was too crisp, and I wished it to be mixed into the back a little bit. It was a bit too powerful for the backing music.
Okay, that I can agree to. He's definitely very forward.
Yeah.
His vocals are basically the main attraction on any song that he's on.
Yeah, and it's all very low-key and relaxing, but holy shit, listening to this closely is not fun. This is the kind of thing you throw on in the background while you're doing chores or some other activities later on that I'll point out. But it's just there's it's kind of just your brain seeping out of your ears if you try and decipher it.
It is a very spacey album.
Yeah. There's not a lot going on. It's so not dense. There's so little going on in every song.
Yeah, the tracks are very very generous in their time length, and a lot of them he does not use them to their full potential. Like on this track, this one's fine. And it kind of has a building synth section at 2:30, and it kind of goes for that more club music sound, but it's still a pretty dreamy club banger. That's the 3/4 of the song on this.
See, I took this one as, you remember that that video of all those emo kids dancing under a bridge?
Yeah.
This one has a very quotation marks angsty teen staring out the window while it's raining, thinking about how hard their life is, in quotation mark vibe.
I wouldn't say angsty. Well, okay, a couple songs do get angsty.
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying the song is angsty. I'm saying this is the track they would be listening to.
You think that fall within their wheelhouse?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you an angsty teen, Sam? You were a bit of an emo.
I was not. Matt was. I was not.
He still is.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we can move on to track number 3 then.
Yeah.
Hardest to Love.
Transferring between... Oh, wait. I jumped ahead. Crap, I was talking about Hardest to Love when I said that emo thing.
Okay, this one I can see a little bit more on.
Yeah. The Too Late was... the comment was... ethereal, but without much meat on the bones. So the "it's so not dense" quote that I already gave.
Yeah, the songs are very vaporous. It's trying to grab onto a vapor cloud, you know?
Yeah. But sorry, that emo comment went with this song.
Yeah, a little, especially with that more aggressive backing percussion, which really I think clashes a bit with the tone of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too high energy considering how low key the Weeknd's vocals are on this one.
I will say I liked being able to understand what he was saying, and the faster tempo is kind of nice, a nice respite from the slowness of the first two.
Yeah, his vocal range is a little lower in this one,
and
he really is a good singer.
He is.
He's got some silky smooth parts on this kind of synth R&B vibe.
Mm-hmm. We'll get into it later, but I don't understand why he just continues to use his falsetto. His normal singing voice is 100 times better.
Yeah, that's kind of his thing. I was kind of expecting him to maybe ditch it a bit, considering the new direction he was going, but he did not do that.
It's like, what is it? It's like if Queen in Bohemian Rhapsody, instead of singing, use T-Pain auto-tune. They can sing, but they're not. And that might be a bit too generous for him. But
and there's a little bit of auto-tune on the album, but mostly I think it's just good vocals.
No. I'm not saying he's using auto-tune. I was drawing a parallel.
Okay. You're saying it kind of ruined the. It was a little too much. It's an ingredient that ruined the broth, so to speak.
Exactly. If he didn't do falsetto, he would sound so much better. And I was trying to draw a parallel between a dearly beloved band and something that everyone hates.
I admit he uses it way too much on this album.
Yeah.
That by the end of it, you're kind of sick of it. It certainly doesn't help for the songs to like not blend together, which it does.
Yeah. And then on the outro of this one, there's that like 15 seconds of just random noises.
Like kind of that like weird like spacey interlude thing before going into the next one. Well, I can at least respect that it kind of like does something different.
Yeah.
Except before it goes into track number 4, Scared to Live.
And I will say, I have to give him props. He actually did a transition. So the songs actually run into one another, 3 and 4. Hardest to Love and Scared to Live.
It does that a couple times on the album. Just a little cohesion.
Yeah, no one ever does that, so I got to give him props there. On this one, I noticed at this point, I was like, wait, every single track says explicit. I haven't heard a single curse word or questionable theme. And then immediately on track number 5, I'm like, oh, there they all are.
They're kind of clumped together in some songs.
At this point, I was like, I hadn't heard a single curse. I mean, granted, I couldn't understand what he was saying half the time, but...
Yeah, no, this one's kind of the even more of a sad boy song. It's got like this synthy church organ type thing going in the back, kind of accompanied by these 808 drum pads. And I will say it's got the chorus is a lot more grand.
Yeah,
when he goes that I hope you know I like that little vocal inflection thing he does there.
Yeah, and I enjoy the chorus, but what I dislike he does is in leading up to the chorus, he'll sing a verse and the end word will be just breath. So he'll say something like, I've got to go ho. Like he's trying to say home, but he's just doing breath.
Kind of letting it whisper away.
And it takes all the power out of, and they're all the power out of the lines that really don't have any to begin with. If he had just kept singing without that pull back, it would still be very low key. And then the chorus comes in with enough oomph behind it to set it apart without just falsely deflating the line before it. So that was just I don't know.
A little critique. It's a constructive criticism.
A little critique.
Critiques.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This one's one of the more alright songs on the album, I think. I do like his singing very much on this one. I don't know. It's he goes some interesting places, and I think the more grander presentation of the chorus kind of accompanies his more grand vocal stylings.
Yeah, and I will say throughout this whole album, he does use some great synth, and that's the easiest way to win me over.
He keeps the synth throughout the entire album, so he plays with this theme the entire album. Now he doesn't always go. He doesn't always go to more interesting places with that theme, but he maintains it the entire album.
Yeah, but in this one he brings back the kind of plinking fast synth, which is a nice touch.
A nice touch.
Nice little touch.
Yeah. Then we can move on to track number 5, which is Snow Child.
I forgot to update the screen. Wait.
Which I can only assume is about his youth in Canada. Being surrounded by snow.
Maybe. I took it more as a snow bunny due to the lyrics.
Oh. Yeah, this one was like where there's actually the verses were actually kind of more like this like breathy falsetto pseudo rap spoken word thing, which I didn't really care for.
Yeah, my biggest issue with this one was the drum kit. I do not understand the fascination with drum kits that sound fake. Like this one was especially bad. It was
the
really,
kind of 808s.
Yeah, the hollow, it was really hollow and cheap. Like I get that the specific hits he's using work, but like specifically the snare drum rim taps is very electronic and not. It really takes you out of the song because it clashes with the song. And if you had used an actual snare drum hit, I think it would have sounded a lot better.
I mean, using live percussion is pretty uncommon in the genre, especially nowadays. So I'm a little more used to it. That's just kind of like the name of the game, is that drum pads are kind of have phased out like live percussion performances, which I guess is just part of the stylings. So I don't really hold it against the Weeknd for that. But I know that you're more into the live percussion performances.
Yeah.
So you don't get any of that on this album. But I kind of think it works with the kind of synth theme, because it itself is kind of synthetic.
It works a lot better later. Just in this song specifically, it was pretty bad, I felt.
Because it's a little more low-key, so something that's still like pointy kind of sticks out.
Yeah, it wasn't mixed down far enough, I feel.
It did have little sound effects, Sam. You like those?
It did. It had the Birds in the Meadow breakdown, which was fantastic, which was a great example of how something can still be less than the sum of its parts.
Wow. You turned that compliment to an insult. It had fireworks too, Sam. You like fireworks.
Yeah. My less than the sum of its parts statement still stands.
Yeah, I know. Though the vocals on this one's kind of funny, because there's like parts where he's bragging about his like cars and jets in this low-key ass song.
Yeah.
But I think he's kind of talking about how he doesn't want them anymore, like in a sad boy kind of way.
Oh, yeah. So life's so hard for you, isn't it, bud? At this point, I wrote a warning saying I'm most likely going to be a lot harsher from here on out. I was getting really sick of his fucking voice at this point. And you plot me in the middle of almost any song, and I could not tell you what the difference was. Just because everyone is just his voice. There's nothing else.
This album has no features. It's just the Weeknd all the way through.
It really hurts to sit and focus on. This is not an album meant to be like, hey, you want to
digest it all at once.
You want to go driving and listen to the new Weeknd album? Heck yeah, bro. It's like, no, you just slap this on in the background while you're doing something. This isn't something you're bumping to in the car. This is something you have on while you're watching TV. You're completely focused on something else.
It's not banger after banger, but it's definitely very blended together, like a smoothie, like a beige smoothie.
Yeah. Extremely beige smoothie. Speaking of blended together, jump to track 6.
Track number 6, Escape from LA.
Escape from LA.
Ooh, this song is 6 minutes long, and it is definitely 6 minutes long.
Why is it that bad songs on albums are always about LA?
Is that true?
Panic at the Disco's most recent album, Dying in LA, was one of the worst songs on the album as well.
I don't know. Maybe LA just brings up the worst in people. I'd believe that.
Yeah. I will say this one had the better use of the drum kit, although I still think a real drum would have been nicer. But that's just me.
Well, then you went out like the modern R&B scene.
Yeah.
Or the modern hip-hop R&B scene. Though, this one's where it kind of got to me too. That's like these spacey synth beats are, with just with a Weeknd kind of falsetto crooning over it.
Well, the issue is there's not really anything going on in the background. It's just his voice.
It's just him and the beat and like some synth. And this album's like, the song is like a slow burn, but like without the payoff.
Yeah.
It just like ends. It's 6 minutes long, so you're like, oh, okay, there's got to be a payoff at the end, right?
Nope.
No.
The issue is his voice really can't carry this song because it's even more minimalistic than what we've dealt with prior. I mean, he has a great voice, don't get me wrong, but the previous 5 songs have all sung exactly the same way. Like, you can't just take away the backing and do the same thing that you've been doing for the previous
You
5
can't do
songs
the
and
same
expect it to
style,
work.
but less.
Yeah. And I said this is probably one of the worst choices for the second longest song on the album. This one definitely felt like this is, oh, you know what? I'm going to write a good long song that people can just bang to. That's what this is going to be. And
this is some bedtime music.
Yeah. And it's great because you're not going to be paying attention to it whatsoever, but there's still noise. It's a bad
noise.
It's a bad song.
I mean, I listened to this album both just sitting down and examining it and like going about like doing some cooking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely was a lot more enjoyable when you're doing something else.
Yeah.
You can just kind of have it like subconsciously be in your mind, just like as like noise filler.
To be fair, that is the way a lot of music is made to be. But usually, even when you sit down and focus on it, it's still pretty good.
Yeah. This one's just very, very distant. Like, but it's like particles that are too far apart, you know?
Yeah.
They never collide.
Yeah.
Which, for a 6-minute song, I honestly don't have too much to say about it. But the song doesn't have too much to say, so...
There's nothing there. It's just his voice. I talked about the drum kit. That was the only other thing in the song, so... Kind
of reminds me of like a rain cloud, you know? They're like huge, but you can just walk right through them.
Yeah. Jumping to track number 7, then.
Track number 7, Heartless.
Heartless.
Which is
Not
the
Heartless.
first...
Heartless.
No, Heartless, which is the first single of the album.
Oh, this is a single.
Yes.
That is... really makes you think about how some people make money, huh?
I mean, it's got 200 million plays on Spotify. So...
Bet those are the people that stocked up on toilet paper and don't vaccinate their kids either.
I'm not sure if that's the same audience. I don't want to... I mean, where's some of those listens, Sam?
He repeated the same thing for 3 minutes.
Yeah, he was really married to this chorus.
Like, I know I harp on repetition quite a lot, and granted, sometimes it's unjustified, but holy crap. He says the same thing for 3 minutes.
He does say the word stummy at one point, I think.
Does he really?
He says, "It got my stomach feeling sickly."
Okay, well that automatically brings this up quite a bit.
Check minus to check plus.
I didn't catch that. That brings him from the extremely negatives to neutral, if he mentions stomach. But you know, he has some good verses in there. But the issue is he keeps using the same melodic line. So even though he's saying different things, he's actually singing it the same way, so it sounds the same. Which is where the repetition comes in.
Progression. Yeah, and the speaking of the actual lyrics, it's like about how heartless is with with women and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's already like such a low key kind of lower energy song. Like a lot of the songs on this album, it almost like clashes with like it's like more aggressive lyrics with a not suitably aggressive song, but. I guess maybe he's going for more of the R&B sexy vibe.
Yeah, it's just his high pitched voice. I want him to stop singing. I felt like he was holding me hostage on track number 7. I was like, I just want to be done, but I'm not even halfway there. I still got another 6-minute song to go through.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the album. There's 14 tracks.
Let's move on then.
Yeah, we can keep moving on to track number 8, Faith. So this one's got a little bit more of a pulsing beat underneath it.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I definitely think the album picks up a bit more in the back half.
For sure, which is really odd. Like the backing track on this one got a lot better.
Well, that's because that's where you crammed all its singles for some reason. Yeah, this one's got a little more energy. Though it still kind of blows together with a lot of the other songs. When you don't change your focus styling at all, and it's very distinct, like with a falsetto, it kind of starts to meld.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, this one I enjoyed the backing track on this one because it kind of had some depth to it, but it didn't go far enough. It's getting there, you know. It's like baby's first steps, you know. managed to stand up. And he fell on his face.
Baby's first steps on his 4th album.
Yeah, which is pretty bad. And then the end of it was like, it's got like that weird, it's got a miracle musical disease going on with it. The last minute of the song is just different.
It's like this kind of vacant, like very dreamy, like synth section with like police sirens going on in the background. Like,
so you mean the first 7 songs of this album?
Yes. But this one even more so, like extremely dreamy. And then it, it's kind of an interesting section. It kind of, his voice has kind of like a distinct vocal filter on it. But, yeah, it's not much to say about it beyond that, at least for me.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reminded of that stupid Meat Canyon video. I don't like Logic anymore. You know the rapper? I don't know, the Needle Drop just reviewed him so poorly I can't bring myself to like him.
Man, I left LA when I saw that one.
Chad, let's move on
to track number 9, Blinding Light, which was his second single.
Which, actually, not that bad.
The song is a bop. See, so before I went suggested this album, Sam, I had listened to Blinding Lights and In Your Eyes.
Oh, well, there was your problem.
And I'm like, this is a new direction for The Weeknd. I'm kind of looking forward to this album. And then I listened to the rest of it. I'm like, these are the best 2 in the album.
These are the best 2.
By like a wide margin.
I don't know if I like Blinding Lights for what it is, or because it just makes me want to go listen to Take On Me.
It does have a big I think it's like the kind of percussion.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of running beat. But I think it's a pretty great song, honestly.
Yeah.
The start was a bit starved by being like 10 tracks into the album, and it's like the first actual good song.
Like it starts, and then I'm like, Take On Me, and then I'm punished with more of The Weeknd singing.
No, I think his vocals I think his vocal stylings match this song a lot better than all the other ones.
Oh, for sure. This one
it's a lot more.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a lot more high energy. It's like you're running through a nighttime neon city, you know?
This one actually has good melodic breakdown and proper structure throughout. It builds and evolves, and he kind of, it sounds like he changes his singing style a bit. It felt that way anyway.
It's also got a tasty synth line. That bow, 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 bow. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like this is, I wish the rest of the album was like this.
It was like, I was sitting up in my chair waking up. I was like, have I just been too harsh this whole time? Like, has it always been like this? Or was I in a bad mood for the first 8 songs? I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm seeing it. But no, I was not in a bad mood. It was, this is one of the only good songs on the album.
It's just a shame that you have to like trudge through the first 8 songs to get here.
Well, see, that's
I guess you can just listen to the single, but
yeah, that's the thing, Cooper. No one listens to full albums anymore. We're the outliers here. People listen to singles.
No, I always judge. So the way I judge how many people listen to the album, right, Sam, is that if you look at the Spotify, obviously the singles always have like hundreds and like this song has over 500 million plays. Which is a lot of plays.
Good, but it's not that good.
It's 500 million plays, but the last song of the album, which isn't a single, right? So I take that as the number of people who have actually listened to the album, because that's the only reason you listen to this song. Has 4 million plays.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot, but significantly less than his singles.
Which is when people talk about, oh, hey, go listen to the new Weeknd album, they are definitely just talking about the 3 singles. Probably not even the 3, it's probably just the 2.
I mean, some obviously the singles are are the hooks that get you into actually, getting the album, right? They're like supposed to exemplify what the album's about. Well. Like this is worth. Maybe there's more going on. Check it out.
And this is a clear-cut case of lying about what your product is.
I feel robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the rest of the album's still in the synth style, but like this one just leagues above it in terms of quality, I think.
The issue is this is actually a completed song. The rest are about a third of the way there.
A little undercooked, you might say.
Quite undercooked. But another fully cooked song is track number 10, In Your Eyes.
In Your Eyes. The third single on this album.
Not the isn't there another song called In Your Eyes? In your eyes.
eyes.
Or is that In Your Arms?
No. Which one are you thinking of?
Is it Peter Gabriel? The chorus is like chanting in your. I think
I'm not familiar with that one. I don't think.
Maybe it's In Your Arms. Maybe it's In Your Eyes.
Oh, there's the song In These Eyes.
No.
I cry every night for you.
Oh yeah, this is it. You definitely would recognize it if you heard it. It's In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Okay. I don't think I'm familiar with Peter.
I don't know what I feel like he definitely seems like a vocalist who went solo.
It kind of sounds like Africa.
Yeah. Well, it's technically rock genre.
Rock.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the actual In Your Eyes for this album is a little more of the energetic synth.
Man,
these back to back are like, oh, okay, this album's starting to pick up again.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I was sitting up straight. I was like, okay, yeah, here we go. 10 songs in. It took quite a while, but we're seeing the payoff.
Yeah, it's got this kind of, like I said, this Neon City vibes. I really dig the Weeknd vocal stylings over this kind of instrumental. And it's just, got a really head bobbing, synthy, groovy. It's like, it puts all the good qualities together to make a very enjoyable song.
I gotta say, it's got some more of that. It's got the really vaporwave synth in there too, which is really, really nice. And if you think you can win me over with that, you're absolutely correct. And then it launches into some kind of like funky synth too. Ooh, this one actually, it took 10 songs, but I think we got to another proper song.
Yes. And it even has a little sax solo on the back end.
A sax solo, a new instrument?
Yeah, I'm like so taken aback by like a new element being introduced in this album at like any capacity. I'm like, oh my god.
I dare say the B-side is better than the rest of the album, but quickly we are let back down.
Yeah, no, this is an oasis in a desert, certainly. Yeah. But these two songs, really good songs.
Yeah. And this one he does a little bit of non-falsetto, and he kind of had like that Michael Jackson twinge to his vocals.
Yeah, he's The Weeknd has cited Michael Jackson as a influence.
I definitely heard that. So
yeah, I remember hearing that Michael Jackson, Prince a bit, which I can kind of get with a falsetto. Also R. Kelly, since the R&B thing. So he wears it a little bit on his sleeve on this song, a little bit more.
And I was like, wow, this sounds a lot better than you've sounded for the rest of the album.
I like Michael Weeknd.
Yeah. Kids don't, but.
Wow. Hey, come on, Billie Jean.
Do we want to jump back into the shit show?
Yeah, let's go back into track number 11, Save Your Tears.
Save your tears, because you're going to need a lot more by the time you get to the end.
Yeah, so this one definitely brings the energy down. We're out of singles territory, boys.
Yeah. I will say, he throughout this album, he's done very well with background noises. He's got that kind of water drip before the chorus, which is a nice touch. But that's the only nice touch.
Yeah. The song's got a little more going on. I think it's got like an actual bass line by like a bass.
This was just more of the same old for me.
And it does have a little bit of a nice breakdown, a synth breakdown, like 245. But I kind of take that it breaks it up. And Sam, the end of the song, it has this ELO like vocal effects, right? Where it's like talking through like a vocalizer.
A vocoder.
Reminds me of Time. Yeah, a vocoder.
No. No.
Yeah, it's like that really synthy, like at the beginning of Time. It's like, you're traveling through time. But it
doesn't except not like that.
Oh, I can't make the sound, so.
Yeah, I didn't like this one.
No.
I
thought it was all right. It's definitely one of the least offendable on the album. I think
I will give it that. It is not the worst song on the album, but that is not saying much.
Yeah, but it's definitely not as we're back into the album proper, unfortunately. Yeah.
It was like you're driving through. You're getting in the car. Your parents are like, "Hey kids, let's go on vacation." And they're like, "Yeah." And you're driving and you're driving and you're driving, and it's just trees and cornfields as far as the eye can see. and then you pass Kings Island or Disneyland. You're like, oh, Disneyland! And then your parents keep driving. And then they stop at Grandma's house in the middle of nowhere, except your grandma isn't there. She died.
Oh, my God. Well, this is getting dark.
That's the album.
I'm not gonna say that it's like your grandma dying.
No. It's not like it's not like she just died, Cooper. It's like you guys kept her house as a getaway house. You know, like kind of a lake cabin, except there's no lake. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
Huh. Sounds like vaguely sad.
There you go. That's the feel. Jump into track number 12 then, if you're ready.
I am. Repeat after me. Parentheses interlude.
So I gotta say, I'm gonna take offense to that interlude, because
what, to like the title interlude?
Why interlude gives it the feeling that it's kind of like a break. It's just another song.
I mean, it's got like a slightly different feel to it. I'm not gonna say it like did anything like crazy different. It's got like almost that like church organ, like electronic feel at the beginning.
I wouldn't even say that. It's like he just put interlude in the title, so he had an excuse not to vary the lyrics.
Well, you think this is a scam?
Yeah, I think this is a scam song.
Well, it's not like you needed an interlude. This album is certainly long enough without one.
For real. This one, again, was another one that felt like it was written for people to bang, too.
Yeah, 54 minutes. That's enough. Heck, you could listen to the album 3 times.
But I didn't have much to say about this one. It just was just kind of there.
Yeah. Dreamy synth. You've heard it all. It's got some thick bass lines, like some bass synth underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some chipmunk vocals at some points, which are a little more interesting. Those haven't been anywhere else on the album. So, a couple novel concepts on this album. But, yeah, still nothing too much to like gravitate towards.
Jump into the longest track on the album then.
The title track. After Hours.
I didn't even catch that. Wow, that's even more offensive then. After 13. Hours.
Yeah. So I kind of...
Lucky number 13. Come on, baby.
I kind of figured, okay.
Oh, fuck me.
It's the longest song of the album at like over 6 minutes. And it's the title track. So I'm like, okay, you just got to do something, interesting with it. This is actually one of the more desolate tracks on the album.
Just when I thought the album had turned for the better, I was promptly corrected.
Yeah, this is a vacant track. I'm surprised at just how stripped back it is.
There's a single background note that's just plonked over and over again.
Which I could respect if it was done for like artistic reasons, but at this point, we've had a lot of songs that are like this, but with more instrumentation. So giving more of the same, but like worse. Is a bold move. It is
a 6-minute song that I was able to write 3 sentences about. I didn't have anything to say about this that I hadn't already said, except that there's even less to say because there's less there.
It's basically just Weeknd vocals with light synth. That's the song. That's all 6 minutes of it.
Yep.
It doesn't really have like a breakdown or like some sort of interesting transition or like, like a change in like track instrumentation. Just
interesting anything. It's just there.
It's like if a cave made music.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just bad. I can't believe that the longest song on the album is an even worse fit for being the longest song than the second longest song. Like he has 2 6-minute songs.
And both of them are it's like if this was like a 3-minute song, it wouldn't have enough material.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like so stretched out.
Most of his 3-minute songs don't have enough material. It's I don't know. That was all I had to say about that one. It was bad. It was really bad.
Well, we can finish it up on the last track then, save if you want. Track number 14, Until I Bleed Out. Which, surprise, surprise, it's a very mellow and spacey synth song.
Surprise, surprise. I actually died while this song was playing because I bled out.
Yeah, so this one, it's definitely a song that's on this album. That sounds a lot like the other songs on this album. The song has decent synth and electro.
Yeah. I will say, I can't think of a more fitting song to end the album on. It was disappointing from start to finish.
I mean, even the song just kind of ends, which then the album just kind of ends.
Yep.
I was listening to it and actually missed the ending the first time because I went to a next song. I'm like, what? I thought that was the last song. I'm like, oh, it was. It just it was just over.
Yep. It was. I understand. I was disappointed at the start. And then as soon as, 9 and 10 came and gone, I got disappointed again. But it makes sense that he didn't put those at the start because as soon as they dropped off, people would stop listening. So if you start with disappointing and just go more disappointing as it goes on, you're kind of tempering expectations. And none of it really felt like music to listen to. It was like backing track of an actual album,
Human music.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like human music.
Existing music.
It was just kind of there. If anyone ever says, "Oh yeah, this is my favorite album," I will seriously question what's going on in their head. It's like that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick, the inner machinations of my mind are an enigma, and then it's just spilling milk. I imagine that's what people's minds are like. But yeah.
Yeah, this is
there was potential, but it missed the mark by 100 miles.
The potential made me more sad.
Yeah.
Because going into this, I had high expectations. I was kind of pumped for this album.
I was instantly let down as soon as it wasn't Vampire Weekend.
Okay, well that's on you. I don't think we can blame The Weeknd for that. So I think you're gonna have to let him off for that.
Well, I'm gonna have to take points off because you're not Vampire Weekend.
And also, you spelled the word "weekend" wrong, so that's another couple points.
Come on, you got to spell check these things. It's integrated into everything.
Yeah. So, but that's it. That's the end of the album.
Yeah, that was. Oh God, how long was this album, Cooper?
56 minutes. A little under an hour.
It felt so much longer.
It really, really did.
I started at around 2. I don't remember what I did until 4. I think it's a 50-minute album that actually takes 2 hours to listen to.
It's a time anomaly.
So what do you think, Cooper? What's your let's go slowly since this whole album's been so slow. What is your least favorite song?
Least favorite? Let's see.
I feel like we might line up on this one.
I think we might.
Just thinking outside the old noggin here.
I kind of disliked Escape from LA more than After Hours. So I think maybe Escape from LA's a bit is the least favorite. Just because I felt like it was building to something and then it was like a bit of a tease and then didn't do anything. At least After Hours was just like milquetoast the entire time. So yeah, probably least Escape from LA was my least favorite.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here. I think I disliked After Hours just a little bit more than Escape from LA.
Wow. Bold choice.
At least I had some positive things to say about Escape from LA. I had nothing positive to say about After Hours. And that's even more egregious being the title track. And it is the worst song on the album.
Yeah,
come on, man.
I really don't know why you went with that.
You should have called it, In Your Eyes or Blinding Lights or something. I don't know. In Your Eyes is everyone would think the Peter Gabriel song though. So
I think the target audiences are.
That's a good point.
Overlap as much as
you hadn't heard of that at all. Let's see. When did In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel come out?
Like 1980.
1986.
Okay.
So fair enough.
That was 30 years ago. Right now, that's like 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's a bit farther.
35.
We're in the 20s. All right, let's take it a bit more positive now. What's your favorite track And I feel we're not going to vary too much on this one.
Which of the two?
Which of the two tracks? Which of the two actual songs?
I mean, Blinding Lights is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Though, In Your Eyes is a close second. I just think of them as a package.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like so tasty nougats. Yeah. They're so good. And I listened to them before this album, and I'm like, oh boy, we're going to get 56 minutes of this.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
I wondered why you were so excited to listen to this album, and now I understand.
Because that's some banging singles.
And then and surrounded by 40 minutes of dog shit.
It's kind of a shame that the singles were the best things on this album by like a significant margin. Disappointing to say the least.
Yeah. I'm going to have to vary from you again, and I think I like In Your Eyes more than Blinding Lights. Just because I think I really like Blinding Lights, because as soon as it came on, Take On Me just started playing in my head. And I'm like, I could be listening to good music right now. Oh my gosh. And then the song actually got better, because up until this point, there was nothing positive. It was just, I was daydreaming. Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely, they're definitely the only two songs on the album.
Yeah, well, I guess we can get into our final ratings, Sam.
Yeah, we can.
I suppose I'll go first.
Go right ahead.
Oh, we have to explain the rating system, of course. I forgot.
Of course. Do you want to do that this time, or would you like me to?
I will. So here at the Audio Chef, since we know so much about cars, we love driving around, listening to music, playing The Weeknd every weekend. That's our motto. So our ranking system is, you got the tippity top, just the best of the best is a showroom. That's something that's like basically untouchable, and that it's a must listen. Then at the bottom, you've got a scrapyard, which is yuck, ew, get away from me. Bottom of the barrel, you don't want it. And then in between is it's kind of a 1 to 5 ranking system, and might give it like a high fixer upper or a low used rental. Just to kind of if we feel like there's some wiggle room there. And I think for this one, I'm gonna go and give it a used rental. I mean, like the two songs I like on this album are really good, like legitimately great synth bangers, that I think really complement the Weeknd's vocal stylings. And like, I guess the rest of the album's not like, it's not like unlistenable. It's not like unpleasant to listen to. It doesn't actively hurt me. Especially when I had it like on in the background a couple times when I was listening to it. I think it serves that purpose. So I don't think it's like completely devoid of value. Mm-hmm. But the missed potential of it, of what I was thinking I was going to get from it, and then when it actually delivered,
I have to say,
it definitely leaves a pretty bad taste in my mouth. And I'm overall pretty disappointed about this album. Honestly, you can just listen to the singles for this album, and I think you'll get. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's also Heartless, which is so, but definitely Blinding Lights and In Your Eyes. And you pretty much get as much as you're going to get out of this album. The rest of it's a bit too just samey, vaporous, hard to grasp onto.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish the Weeknd had lived up to what his singles had kind of indicated the direction he was going.
Yeah. I'm actually in the same boat. I gave it a scrapyard. However, I'm going to say, used rental. I'm going to say very low used rental, like on the cusp of being scrapyard.
The singles pulled it up.
If we had not have listened to Imagine Dragons Origins, it probably would be scrapyard. But Imagine Dragons Origins proved to me how bad music could be. I didn't believe it. I wanted to believe, there was beauty in everything, but holy crap, there's not. Some things are just crap from top to bottom. But it shows so much. It doesn't show any potential, but the two singles just bring it up so much. It's like, you can make music. What is the rest of this? And I don't. When did you say this came out, Coop?
This came out like 3 days ago. I think this Friday. Or Thursday, something like that.
So it'd be really interesting to see what everybody else thinks of it, because I think it's absolute crap. And the singles are great, of course, but everything else is crap. So I'm interested to see what other people think, because if they like it, I question their sanity. They might have been locked inside a couple too many days by this point.
I mean, I can see. I'll give it this. I can see states of mind in which this album would be more enjoyable than like sitting down and listening to it.
Yeah.
Or like situations where it would be. Like Imagine Dragons Origins. That's kind of my. That's also my part. Yeah. Where I'm like, there's no situation this would improve.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I didn't want to go all the way scrapyard, because I'm like, I can see you listening to this sometime. Like maybe you got a really low key house party going on or something, and you guys are all just kind of sitting around shooting the shit. This would be something good to have on in the background, because it's not intrusive and it's very, very similar throughout, so it's not going to disturb your conversation. And so it's got some merit there. It is not completely useless. And
which I guess is the highest phrase we can give it.
Exactly. And I'm not going to argue. Lo-fi chill hip-hop beats to relax/study to actually are enjoyable to listen to, where this is not. So I don't think you could study to this. I will say that.
Yeah, so, sorry this wasn't Vampire Weekend, Sam.
Let's jump to the spare tire. I actually have something to throw in here that somebody made.
Ooh, yeah, throw it in.
I think I have to do browser source, maybe. Let's try this. What if I do... There we go. This will be the picture for...
There it is. Courtesy of Carmen.
Yeah. So this could be the image while we talk about our spare tires for the week. So what actually enjoyable music have you listened to this week, Cooper?
Oh, like I said, I've been working through the Soil and Pimp Section discography. That's still an ongoing project. They have like a dozen albums, and they're all, not gonna lie, still pretty good. We haven't really had any stinkers in the pile. They're all some quality jazz, so I'm excited for that.
It's hard to do bad jazz, I feel.
Bad jazz. But and then also listened to kind of went to a little bit of a throwback. I listened to some Neutral Milk Hotel. Their two albums. There are only two albums, On Afer Island and In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. So that's I've heard build up about how quality they are as like 90s alternative rock albums. And they are decent. Particularly Aeroplane and the Aeroplane Over the Sea is like hailed as like one of the albums of the 90s. I thought it was okay. Maybe I fell for the hype, but it was a fine listen. I think it's worth looking into. It definitely was progressive for the time it was released. I guess in retrospect, maybe not as much, but definitely had a lot more. It's almost like kind of remind me of nowadays. There's a lot more like experimental aspects in rock, right? And indie rock. A little more industrial, a little more noise.
I don't know if it's more common or it's more accessible. I'd argue it's just more accessible now.
Maybe that too. Yeah, I think it's worth giving a listen. Plus, there's an interesting incorporation of brass in the album.
Ooh. Now, is it real brass or is it?
No, it's definitely live brass. You can tell. And I did like that. So definitely worth giving a look-see. What about you, Sam? Do you have any spare tires for this week?
Well, let me pull up my Spotify while I talk about the one I have been listening to in an inordinate amount of time. There's a little old YouTube channel called Value Select that makes he makes songs and also stupid videos to go with the songs. And there's one that he has. I can't remember the title off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to. I've got to look multiple things. I don't think I've actually listened to anything on Spotify, because Spotify was using an inordinate amount of data when I was driving to work for some reason.
Got those high quality streams.
Yeah, I use like over a gigabyte. So, well, over a gigabyte over the past month or so.
Well, that seems about right.
But I share data, so I don't want to use too much. But the Value Select video is called "We Will All Die in the Stock Market Crash."
That's encouraging.
And it uses the backing track. It uses. Oh, stop! Don't play. The backing track it uses is called Don't Say Yes by Young Bae. And it's got the spiciest little bit of synth on it. I don't know what it is, but this is another one of the it teases me because again, there's so much potential and I wish it took it further, but it doesn't. Because the little hook he has is amazing, but that's it. There's only that hook that gets repeated, but it's a very, very good song. And I've been I've listened to that a couple times every day. It's really in the old noggin.
Okay, well I'll have to give it a listen, Sam.
Yeah. I'll shoot you a link. Actually, let me just shoot the link in the Twitch chat right now, since we do this live every Sunday at 8 p.m. if you're watching on YouTube. I know you aren't, but maybe somebody is, since everybody's locked inside. Now you gotta listen to us. We've been here this whole time.
Yeah, but come listen to us every Sunday, or most Sundays, occasionally Sundays, at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can get updates on what we're going to listen to on our Twitter, @AudioShop14, or drop a suggestion in the suggestion box down below.
Yes. And if you are listening live, all 6 of you, although most likely that's just all of our friend group, and you like what you hear, you can go on over to YouTube. All of them are archived there, every single one, from the first to the most recent. I would suggest not listening to the first ones because we both have bad mics and we do not know how to talk to each other properly in a podcast format.
We talk good.
I talk good now.
I talk good. I listen to Weeknd. He go...
We're way too formal and don't know how to talk, or are even worse at talking over one another. Now I just talk over Cooper if he starts talking.
Yeah, you just gotta railroad him.
Yep, exactly. That's how you podcast.
But yeah, so that's all we have for this week, or this weekend.
That's an hour of my life I'm never going to get back.
Well, hopefully next week we'll listen to one that we both find a little more.
Yeah. We'll figure something out.
Maybe it'll be the actual Vampire Weekend, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened to them for a very long time. So I'm not sure
Vampire
how much.
Weekend? I thought it was The Weekend.
No, I don't think I'll ever have a positive connotation with The Weeknd again.
Oh, poor guy. He'll never be able to afford that 30.
That 30 what?
That third E.
Oh, third E.
Yeah, not third E, third E.
I see. Okay. I thought you cut out
I can see how that's confusing.
I thought Discord failed us again. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. This is certainly, was not an enjoyable listen, but it was certainly a fun podcast to do. It's always fun to rail on something.
Yeah, I get a little venting out.
Exactly.
During these troubling times.
Exactly. It's fun to attack people who can't defend themselves.
It makes me feel strong.
It makes me feel better about myself. All right. Well.
And on that note,
we will see you guys next week.
Later, shoppies.
See ya, shoppies. See ya.